Gryffindor, there's a new travel Taven. Let's go watch. Okay, let's watch Planet Peacock.
This one is one I've wanted to do for a long time. I'm gonna take you on the trail of the serial podcast, the Adnan Syed murder case, the murder of Heyman Lee, whatever you want to call it. We're doing it today for Travel Taven. We're starting right here, Woodlawn High School, where everyone that's involved in the story went to high school. If anyone knows the serial podcast or has done any sort of research in the Undisclosed podcast or the murder of Heyman Lee, you would know exactly where we are right now. This is one of those cases that is still big in the media today. The Maryland Innocence Project is working on it, trying to free Adnan Syed from jail. Right here is the location where all things started. The timeline that we're going to go through from here to Lincoln Park all starts right here at the high school that they all went to. From Asia actually going to that public library over there saying that she saw Adnan after school, to everyone leaving from the bus route coming right through here. We're going to check it out today. So obviously a lot of things have changed in the 15 years. Actually, it's almost, 99 when it happened. It's almost close to 20 years. This is obviously a new sign here, but I really want to show you in the background, this school's on a very busy street. Now, according to the state's timeline that says Adnan committed this murder, he had to get from the school to the Best Buy parking lot, then later in the day to Lincoln Park within a matter of 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes, I believe. And just seeing the traffic that's here on a Saturday, knowing that the amount of buses that would have to leave here, the timeline for the state would have to be spot on, exactly down to the minute for this to actually occur, but not impossible. We're actually going to do the drive ourselves. It's going to be a little bit different because it's a Saturday, but we're going to check out exactly how long it takes to leave here and go to that Best Buy parking lot. So one of the major alibi witnesses is Asia McClain. She actually was never contacted by the original lawyer of Adnan Syed, and it's one of the reasons why they're looking into having this, to maybe even releasing Adnan, but at least getting him another trial because of Asia's testimony on the day in question. January 13th, 1999. Asia is at the library. She says she sees Adnan and actually talks to him after school. If that's the case, then the state's timeline on how quickly he got to Best Buy is completely blown out of the water. But you can see how close the public library is to the school itself. And how, basically this is part of the school's campus. But how easily it could be that Asia did meet Adnan right here, talk to him after school. The problem is that it took months before any of these kids got questioned. So think about you being an 18-year-old kid and trying to remember what you did on a certain day 3 months in the past. Asia seems to really remember that on that day she talked to Adnan right here before, maybe none of that stuff happened, but before any of the state's timeline begins, she's supposed to be here with Adnan. All right, we are leaving the school and library parking lot, heading over to the Best Buy. It says it should only take 7 minutes. Again, we're kind of doing this or recreating this on a Saturday when this area is not so busy. After school, there'd be a bunch of buses leaving, a bunch of kids leaving. So supposedly, after leaving school, 15 minutes, get to Best Buy, strangle Heyman Lee to death, and put her in the trunk of Best Buy. Seems like a very small window. We're gonna head over there now and see if I can strangle Vinny and put him in the back of the minivan in time. TK won't shut the F up about this case. He loves it as much as I do, but this is where the Best Buy used to be. So it took us a little bit to get here because we weren't too familiar, and now obviously there's no longer a Best Buy here. It's a storage place. But it took us at least 10 minutes with the red lights to get over here. According to the state's case, 15 minutes is all it took for him to get here, strangle Heyman Lee in the parking lot. And actually, we're gonna go to the other side of this building. That's where they said that he actually moved the body from the car, from the driver's seat, I assume, to the trunk. But this is only because of all the fencing and stuff and it being blocked off now, is it not as busy as it was. This whole area is super, super busy. It's your normal kind of small town strip mall area. To think that a murder took place at 2 in the afternoon with basically the same exact time that it's right now, right here in the broad daylight, is a little suspect. But this is the Best Buy parking lot. For years, people have debated whether the payphone that Jay supposedly gets a call from Adnan saying, hey, come pick me up, if the payphone ever existed here. Supposedly, right inside these doors when this used to be a Best Buy was the payphone. People have debated back and forth if it was ever there. They've looked at the blueprints from the original Best Buy and there was no payphone in there. Other people, like our buddy Jeff Jones, who's from the area, swears that there's definitely a payphone or was a payphone here. But me personally, whether it was a payphone here or not, I don't know if this is the area I would kill a 17-year-old girl or an 18-year-old girl and then stuff her in the trunk. But we're gonna wrap around the building. We're gonna check out the other location where supposedly, all right, I don't know if that's appropriate. Scavenger to this location, because I'm assuming I'm not the first psychopath to come over here and check all this stuff out. But a lot of this stuff has been fenced off. As you can see up ahead, it's fenced off. But this was originally the back of the Best Buy parking lot. Supposedly, Adnan brings Heyman Lee's car to the back of this parking lot. You can actually see some cars back here. And that's where he removes her body and puts her in the trunk and then calls Jay to come pick him up. Now the car, Heyman Lee's car, later would be found a pretty good distance away from here, actually a good distance from the body drop-off spot. But Jay meets him at the Best Buy parking lot, and they take Heyman Lee's car, right in this back corner here. It was a spot that Adnan said him and his friends would come back, and Jay even sometimes would come back and they would smoke weed after school and whatnot. But supposedly, according to Jay, the only witness that really puts Adnan away in this case, this is the spot where he sees the body for the first time in the trunk. But again, even though this right now is kind of a secluded area because of all the fencing, there's still traffic. I can see the main road from here. There's another road right here. Vinny, being a psychopath like you are, would you kill someone right here?
I'd be in the road.
Vinny doesn't count. For all of us normal humans, I don't know if this would be my first location to strangle a young girl to death.
Not at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in a busy area.
Not at all. So we are in Lincoln Park. It's spelled like Leakin, but they pronounce it Lincoln for some reason. Since 1945, I believe, or whenever they started keeping records of it, over 90 bodies have been dumped in this park alone. We are approaching what is going to be the crime scene, or at least the drop-off spot or burial site of Heyman Lee. But all throughout this park is known for being a dump spot for bodies. And down here, about 100 yards through, I'm actually going to take you to the exact spot, is where the body was found. It was found by a maintenance man that came over here to take a leak, he said. He went into the woods, he tripped over, and obviously they're not the same logs over there, but he came across a giant tree that was down, and when he was looking down to take a pee, he noticed hair popping out of the ground. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there's some deer running through right now. Little baby deer. We're not gonna go all the way in. I don't want to get poison ivy. We gotta wrestle tonight, but about 100 yards in, we're about, 20 feet in here. So about 80 more feet in, there's a bunch of trees down, which I guess was the same case when the body was found, is where the body of Haymon Lee was actually discovered. Now it took us about 10 minutes to get here. I'm from, the Northeast. I've been in the woods plenty of times. This ground is your normal woods that you would see. Supposedly in the middle of winter, on January 13th, 1999, which is the day before a huge ice storm hits the Baltimore area, they dug about 6 inches into the ground. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried to dig into solid ground, like frozen winter ground. It is damn near impossible, and especially woods like this, where it's very untouched and, this ground's pretty solid. It hasn't been disturbed in a while. It'd be pretty tough to dig a hole at that point. My theory has always been that this body was dumped here at a later date. But it took a couple months before they found the body. Like I said, someone came over here to take a piss and ended up finding this body here in the woods. But this is, the final resting spot of Haymon Lee. As we've been here, tons of cars have come by and there's not a lot of space to even park the car. So imagine trying to park a car, drag a body into this woods with no one finding out, being an 18-year-old kid. Supposedly he was smoking weed that day too. For me personally, to leave high school, in 15 minutes, go to the Best Buy parking lot, kill your ex-girlfriend, stuff her in a car, and then later that night, bring her out here, drag her into the woods, dig a shallow grave and drop her off her body. It kind of seems like a far-fetched story to me. But whatever you do believe, Adnan Syed is actually due another trial. I mean, from what I heard, it was supposed to happen a while ago and they keep getting pushed back by the state. But leave your comments below. Tell me what you think. Do you think he's innocent? Do you think he's guilty? Who do you think killed this person? That's one of the biggest questions, is that if Adnan didn't do it, then who did?